Hello, respected viewers. I'm George from Ireland on a channel I don't usually speak on. I don't know how I ended up on this one. But anyway, I'm speaking about the joyous tidings yesterday that His Royal Highness Prince Harry, the Duke of Sussex, has accepted official royal titles for his blessed progeny. So the children that he sired with his good wife, Princess Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex. So their eldest child, Archie, he's to get the title Prince, and his younger child, his daughter Lilibet, she's to get Princess. Even that name Lilibet really sticks in the craw. I mean, how low is that? Lilibet was a sort of baby name that his grandmother was known about when she couldn't pronounce Elizabeth. I mean, neither these Archie nor Lilibet are proper names. Hey, call your child what you want. But anyway, it's just, the whole thing is just nauseating and smacks of staggering hypocrisy. He spent the last few years moaning, whining, "Oh, woe is me! I'm Saint hard done by. I'm a martyr. I'm the biggest victim in the world. When I was little, my brother's bedroom was bigger than mine." You're only 38. I mean, get over it. So if this family is so foul, if they've oppressed him so viciously, if it's so anti-woke, if it's so racialist and institutionally racialist to me again, Markle, why on earth do you choose to associate your children with it? You seem to think it's accursed, and this is something, some burden you've had to bear. It's been so terrible being a prince. So why don't you renounce the whole shebang? And he was asked at an interview, well, when he said, what difference would it make? The difference it would make is proving you're not a total hypocrite. The difference it would make is putting your money where your mouth is. Yeah. The difference it would make was actually leading by example, recognizing that actions have consequences, being a little bit logical and intelligent. But of course, that's far too much to ask for him. I remember Meghan a couple of years ago complaining that her offspring did not have these titles. But then even she cited whatever it was, the Royal Ordinance of 1917, set up by King George V, saying the great-grandchildren of the monarch wouldn't get these titles unless they're a direct line of succession and blah, blah, blah. So Archie and Lilibet were not born a prince and princess, but they have subsequently become the prince and princess because their grandfather, King Charles III, is now the monarch. Anyway, so it's quite contentious. And little Lilibet, she was baptized the other day. She's, not far off too now, actually, by the Right Reverend John Harvey Taylor, who's the Bishop of Los Angeles. Now, why not a bishop? Why a bishop? Why not an ordinary priest of the baptism? Is it because they're super high status they have to do this? And pointedly, nobody from the House of Windsor attended that. Well, I can't be surprised, because any private remarks would be passed on, would no doubt be broadcast by Prince Harry in his next traitorous book. Here is a guy who's selling his birthright for a mess of pottage. If the royal family is so evil, why on earth are you going to brand your children with these titles, Prince and Princess? Prince Harry seems to think he suffered abominably by being a prince. So it's staggered and sickened many people on him accepting the titles for his children. And I'm no exception. I'm very glad to see that Piers Morgan, not someone with whom I'm in sympathy, really gave them both barrels. And they deserve many a tirade and a broadside for what they've done, seeing that he was sort of virtually imprisoned by this monarchy. And it was so bad, and that's why he was so drug abused, and they treated him so unfairly. He was the mere spare. If monarchy is so bad, you should cut ties and not inflict this as you would perceive it on the junior generation. So he's obviously trying to have it both ways. So milking it for all it's worth. That's the only reason why anybody listens to him. At the same time, saying, "Oh, it's so politically incorrect, the royal family." So you can't have it both ways. So there he is, the King of California. And I thought we hadn't heard from him from a little while, and a period of silence on his behalf was most cordially appreciated. So they've made this public, and obviously King Charles III has signed on, renounced their titles. They've agreed not to use His Royal Highness and Her Royal Highness. Now, that's not legally binding. If they did formally renounce the titles, it might make them even more famous, but perhaps it's not savvy enough to see that he could exploit that by saying, "I'm just going to be plain Mr. Mountbatten Windsor." So why on earth would you want your children to have royal titles if you thought the royal family was so utterly disgustful? Now, he doesn't perform any royal duties. He chosen to live in a republic. He briefly resided in a Commonwealth realm. Canada, and he's really monetized expectorating hatred at his family and breaching their privacy whilst demanding privacy for himself, and just self-pitying in public, these live on-air therapy sessions where he's diagnosed with just about every mental illness going. I mean, given his extensively documented drug abuse, that's not really very surprising. Anyway, so I would be very glad if we never heard from this pair again, but I don't think they're likely to shut up. I mean, silence is not their default setting. Are they just trying to cash in on it because they'll be so special? Oh, he's just an ordinary guy, Harry, move for a normal life to Montecito, paying a mere $20 million cash for this, is it 8-bedroom mansion in one of California's most exclusive districts, as though that's normal to have that. And the big question is, will he and his good wife turn up with their children in train to his father's coronation? I think it's going to be the 6th of May. They've been formally invited. Whether they're going to accept, we'll see. My hunch is that they won't. We'll see. There's the whole security thing. And no, you won't be provided with security. And don't they still have the use of Frogmore? They finally been kicked out of Frogmore. I mean, they've not lived in it for 3 years. Talk about saving the planet. You could put refugees in there, the sort of people you claim to care about. And it's bad for the carbon footprint. Having a house has to be maintained, maybe warmed sometimes, if nobody's going to live there. But it's always do as I say, not as I do. So these two, they never practice what they preach. Anyway, they're just vile. So they're always seeking this stratospheric social status. I mean, they've got no achievements to actually go on. Prince Harry, he got all this unearned adulation, and if you like attention, put a sock in it. Just never show your face in public, and that's going to garner more attention for your children. Being known as Prince and Princess, they could be a plain Mr. or Miss and just blur into the background, and nobody give them a second glance. There are former royals or people on the periphery of royal families, and they pass unnoticed in the street. I bumped into them, Peter Phillips, Princess Anne's son, a few years ago, and most people wouldn't know him for Adam, and so Adam, is quite possible to do that. Having said that, even Prince, not Prince, he's not Prince anything, Peter Phillips, plain Mr. Phillips, he did exploit his royal connections by being paid a lot of money to promote milk in China. Anyway, thank you very much indeed for watching my channel. It's not the main channel, it's mostly George from Ireland, but please subscribe to that on Patreon, donate on PayPal, georgecallahan79@gmail.com. I urgently need donations to sustain this channel. And don't forget, I do online lessons in history, politics, religious studies, French, English language, English literature, English as a foreign language. I'll help you with essays, dissertations, elocution practice, interview practice, and so on. All right. Goodbye then, everyone. Cheery bye-bye.